Hi guys, this is a redirect to my reaction to House MD Season 1 Episode 2, another great episode. Now, I couldn't find the video file for my redirect to this, so I already made a redirect to this a few weeks ago, but I just couldn't find it, so apologies for just having the audio of my voice and not my face to talk about the episode. Now, I just wanted to mention quickly that this is actually going to be my last episode of this TV show, so I'm not going to continue reacting to House MD. I'm really sorry. I really wish I had more time to react to lot more TV shows, and I know I said that I'd do a full season reaction to House, but I just find that it's not really worth my time because the Walking Dead is just getting so much more engagement, so it's getting a lot more likes, a lot more comments, a lot more people actually watching my Walking Dead reactions as opposed to House MD reactions, which are just not many people are watching and not many people are really commenting. And I just feel, and it's not just that, it's because House MD, it seems more like a show that you really need to pay attention to because it's so dialogue heavy. So I feel like I'm just gonna miss a lot if I was to react to this show, and it's such a shame because I do actually like House MD and I really wish I could do a full season reaction, but there are just so many things, so it's not getting much engagement from my subscribers in general. Secondly, I don't really have the time for it either, but I'm glad I did a trial reaction because I did get introduced to a really good show, so I will actually watch this in my own time, so it's not like I'm totally dropping it, it's just that I'm not going to react to it, so it's just going to be a series that I watch in my own time whenever I can. So yeah, and also it just seems like a show that's very dialogue heavy, so I really do need to pay attention to it. Otherwise, things just get slipped, and I feel like I'm gonna get confused a lot if I was to react to this, and I really don't want to seem ignorant or something. And the thing with reactions is that I don't want to be silent throughout the entire reaction. I'm more someone I'm actually a quiet person in real life, but with reactions you do actually have to talk, and that's going to be hard to do considering the type of show it is, with it being very dialogue heavy and not being as intense of a show compared to something like The Walking Dead, which is more action based. A lot more dramatic stuff happens in The Walking Dead. I mean, there are dramatic scenes in House as well, like a patient could die, for example, but it's not fantasy based. I feel like The Walking Dead is just more reaction worthy, but I will continue watching House just in my own time. I do see that it's on Daily Motion, so I'm just glad about that. Okay, so let's talk about this episode. So there's this patient called Dan. He's actually a lacrosse player. I made the mistake thinking that it's rugby. It's not rugby, I know that. So he has a symptom called night terrors, and I never heard of a symptom like that before. I'm not in the medical profession anyway, but it was a really interesting episode to see that he was experiencing night terrors, and his vision was blurring during a lacrosse game that he was in. So that's really bad timing. Um, him just he was trying to play the game, and then he gets blurry vision, and then he gets hit in the head, and then he gets admitted to the hospital, and it's confirmed that he has night terrors. The first diagnosis is that House thinks he got sexually abused, which is why he thinks that Dan has the night terrors because of the sexual abuse, but that is not true. Also, House makes an assumption that Dan's parents are not his actual biological parents. And then he saw Dan's leg twitching, which is a myoclonic jerk. And then he I'm just reading through my notes about this, because I do write descriptions. This was actually a few weeks ago when I reacted to this. So Dan's night terrors get worse. He thinks that he's in a lacrosse field, because once he stays in the hospital, he goes into the roof of the hospital thinking it's a lacrosse field, and Chase and Dr. Cameron, they try to stop him from falling at the edge of the roof. So thankfully, gladly, they managed to stop him from committing suicide. He just thought that he was in the lacrosse field, so it was a hallucination that he got. So they initially thought that he had I think it was multiple sclerosis. Yeah, they ruled out multiple sclerosis after this incident happened. And then the new diagnosis was neurosyphilis. So they injected penicillin into Dan's brain, but then he had an auditory hallucination, which drove him crazy. So neurosyphilis is not the correct diagnosis. So then Dr. House, he had a coffee break with Dr. Wilson, and Dan's parents came up to Dr. House, scolding him for just having a break and not taking proper care of their son, who they think is dying. And Dr. House was he was actually checking up on Dan very recently, and said that, and told the parents that they should just hold his hand. And then he secretly took their coffee cups to get a DNA sample from Dan's parents. And this was actually a very you're not actually supposed to do that without their permission. So Dr. Wilson, he was just scolding him. Everyone was scolding House for doing this, but he really needed to know if Dan's parents are actually Dan's biological parents. It turns out that he's adopted. Both of them are not his biological parents. So and then Dr. House, he was thinking about the other patient that he was taking care of, about the baby and the baby's mother not allowing her baby to be vaccinated. So that idea triggered Dr. House to thinking that it's possible that Dan's biological mother did not get vaccinated for the measles virus. And it's because of that Dan also has the measles virus because of his mother. So the correct diagnosis is that Dan has a measles infection, and they confirmed that with the retinal biopsy. I just thought that was a really, really scary thing to do. I would not want to have a needle touching my eye. That was just so really uncomfortable to watch that scene. Would you really want to have a needle right next to your eye? That is crazy. But it's a biopsy, so they confirmed that he does actually have the measles virus, and there was treatment, so he is actually okay, because he did get the brain surgery and it was successful. So the correct diagnosis, according to Wikipedia, is subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. I do not know what that is, but it's a measles virus. And so he's okay, and Dan plays lacrosse at the end, and Dr. House just watches him. I didn't quite understand why he did that, but according to Wikipedia, it's because I think House was reminiscing the times when he used to play lacrosse, maybe. When he used to play around, because House, he's got a walking stick. He is not exactly the fastest walker, let's put it. So yeah, it was a really good episode, and I'll just watch this show in my own time. I'm sorry for disappointing anyone who really wanted me to do a full season reaction to this. But like I said, it's not really getting much engagement from my subscribers, and it really just a trial reaction to introduce myself to more TV shows, because I'm not much of a TV show watcher. But yeah, so I will react to Breaking Bad soon, and so do look forward to Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. So stay tuned for more.